You guys are gonna pick your poison. I want Caleb to pick his poison here. So 1, 2, or 3.
3.
All right. Well, I didn't mean to do this, but I'm going to. I wanted to tell you guys that the other day I was working on a paper for school, and and I was doing it at my desk, and my Colby Cast notebook was right next to me, and it was really the only thing within arm's reach to write down something. So I just sort of had like a moment of like, just ideas that I wanted to sort of put in this paper that I was writing. And I'm like, if I type it, it's going to be too slow. I'm going to lose at least one of them. So I grabbed a pen and I wrote down, like 6 things. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm writing my school homework stuff in my Colby Cast notebook. That's bothersome to my brain, although other people may not care about something like that. I did. So I just want to let you guys know that crisis has been averted because I use erasable pens.
I hate you. That is like a minute and a half I'm not going to be able to get back in my entire life.
You did this to yourself. I gave you a choice. You chose erasable pens. Not even knowing, I'm still erasing some of the stuff. I'm just getting so much page real estate back with my erasable pen that, I'm getting close to filling up my entire Colby Cast notebook that I've been using from the beginning for all 180 something episodes. And I'm sort of worried about like filling it up. But now that I have erasable pens, I may never fill it up.
Yeah, your real estate is now tainted.
Punch it to me!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Colby Cast, where we dive into movies,
21 gigawatts!
TV,
Sometimes I'll start a sentence, and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
and everything in between.
Well, I don't know how you get a podcast, but you should look into it.
I'm Colby, and I'm joined by my 2 awesome sons, Caleb
I don't know how to tie my shoes.
and Luke.
I never shut up.
Together, we're your friendly neighborhood pop culture nerds, here to share our thoughts on Star Wars, Marvel, the latest entertainment news, and maybe even some sports.
You believe in miracles? Yes!
So grab a piece of cake
Cake! Everybody loves cakes.
and find a comfy spot on the couch, because this is your place for community and conversation about pop culture and storytelling.
What an incredible smell you've discovered.
I have a question.
Okay.
How do you like your Star Wars?
Frequent.
Okay.
I mean, I
I
don't...
don't know how to answer that question.
Well, I don't know. Waiter asks you, how do you like your steak?
Oh, true, but I know how to answer that question.
Well, how do you like your Star Wars? Do you like it serious? Do you like it fun? Do you like it in the form of a show? Do you like it in the form of a movie? Do you like it animated? How do you like your Star Wars?
I feel like this was like your version of green eggs and ham.
I have been writing a lot of poetry for my creative writing class.
Would you like to share any? Would you like to read any
Yeah,
of your
didn't
original...
you say that you were going to read one of them on live on air?
Absolutely, but they're full of expletives.
Okay.
Yes. You just have to replace it with cuss, remember? And then our
I
imagination
wish you hadn't
can
said
run
that, because
wild.
now I'm out of excuses.
Yep.
I like fun Star Wars. I like hopeful Star Wars. I like adventurous Star Wars. I like serious Star Wars, but with a lot of hope infused in its DNA. And I like Star Wars that speaks to like the mythological side of the universe that George Lucas created. It doesn't always have to be that, but I like it
You like
to
the
be there
Force
somewhere.
aspects?
Huh?
You like the Force aspects?
I do. I've always very much enjoyed the Force and the Jedi point of view of...
That's what I think
Star
of
Wars.
when I think of the mythical side of things. Caleb, how do you like your Star Wars?
Um, mostly serious, well-told story with some lightheartedness to it. If it's the inverse, so like 90% serious, 10% light, perfect. If it's like 90% joking with 10% serious, pass.
I think of like Andor being the most serious Star Wars project,
Sure,
and you could probably put Rogue One up there too, but I
sure.
think Andor is probably even heavier than Rogue One. And then, like the Phantom Menace, not even the Phantom Menace, because there's some heavy aspects to the Phantom Menace, but like, I don't know, season 1 of the Clone Wars being like the lightest. Or there's that kids show. What's that one? The kids show?
Animaniacs.
That's the one.
Jedi Maniacs.
Yeah, but there's the kids one. That would be like the lightest. I like my Star Wars when they focus on the economic and political state of the Trade Federation. That is my sweet spot. I want to hear Newt Gunray talking as much as possible about the effects of his blockade.
Are you talking
or
about Resistance?
No, not even Resistance.
Young
For
Jedi
real?
Adventures.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, yeah. The Young Jedi Adventures is the aimed for like the preschool crowd, for the
Yeah,
kitty
that's like
kid
Disney
kids.
Junior.
Yeah. So you really eat up like the Senate scenes in the prequel trilogy, like the
I
debate
wish
stuff.
they would take out all the blasters and all the lightsabers and the Force and just talk. That's what I want. That's what I want out of my Star Wars.
What's that organization? It was introduced from Rebels and it was continued on in Andor. The ISB, is that like the
Yeah,
yeah? So you really enjoyed those sections, those scenes of Andor when they're having the big long like conference room
board
meetings with at
meetings.
the
Yeah,
ISB. Yeah, with General
yeah.
Partagas,
I
my
want
favorite dude.
that. I want that with less conflict. Just talk more logistics, right? How
Yeah,
are we paying for all these starships, right?
you really want the bureaucratic side of the galaxy told.
Exactly.
I feel like it
So,
has been very underrepresented in the Star Wars galaxy.
and there's a market for it. There really is. With that in mind, how do you feel, or where do you feel the Skeleton Crew trailer leaves us in that?
So the fact that the Crew trailer begins with two kids sort of like sitting outside of a detention or maybe a principal's office or something gives me a lot of hope for you that it will be like 8 episodes of kids doing standards and having lectures on the political bureaucracy of the Star Wars galaxy.
Yeah, yeah. They're gonna write I will not be a rebel. I will not be a rebel.
I will do as the New Republic tells me. I will do as the New Republic tells me.
Exactly.
But yeah, uh-huh.
But in all seriousness, I like my Star Wars. Um, I like it fun, but I like it fast paced. I don't really, to me, I like the fun stories as much as I like the serious stories, but I like fast paced Star Wars. That's where I think it's at its best. And I like that the Skeleton Crew looked pretty fast paced. I think the trailer covered a lot of ground, maybe even too much ground. Um, but I didn't mind it. I thought it felt a little bit, you know, it's very obviously along the lines of a coming of age story. It felt almost like um, what's the one movie with the train scene where they go find a dead body in the woods? How am I forgetting this? Stand by
Oh,
Me.
Stand by Me. Yeah.
Lost
It
Boys.
it felt like the beginning of Stand by Me, where they're like getting the crew together, and they're gonna go on an adventure. And I had a moment of thinking, is this gonna be the Star Wars Spy Kids? But that was quickly taken away when I saw a bunch of explosions.
Can if it's gonna be Spy Kids, can we have the thumb people?
It
I
would make
hope so.
sense.
I would
We've
absolutely
seen
love to
Stranger
see.
Things.
They definitely would exist in the Star Wars galaxy, right? Just a bunch of thumbs running around.
No,
Um,
thumb people.
did you mean like actual people sized thumbs like in the Spy Kids, and you thought I was talking about just a bunch of little thumbs?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how many little thumbs would it take to take down like a Jedi?
Are the thumbs force sensitive?
No, no, they're not.
Did you guys see the guy who dressed up as Luke's hand and lightsaber for Halloween?
No, I didn't.
He was in a full like all black leotard, like the green people in Vancouver Canucks games,
Right.
but cut off one of the hands and wore a glove on his other hand and literally just had the hilt of a lightsaber and one hand exposed. But he was in like all black. So it was literally just a hand and a lightsaber. And he pretended like it was just like floating around.
That's sort of magnificent. Can you
It's pretty
send
funny.
that to me? I'd like to see that if you come across it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up the Skeleton Crew because yes, they did drop like the official trailer. They had done sort of a teaser before this, and I've been looking forward to this show for a long time, and I love the feel of that trailer. I love it, especially because they sort of like did Star Warsified 80s music. Did you catch that? The music in that trailer?
I totally got that feel.
I had to Google it because it's in my brain. It's like boring itself into my brain. I know the song from the 80s that they're riffing on, and the Google told me that it's Captain Tom. I'm sorry, Major Tom, by Peter Schilling, but I don't think that that's it. I could be getting wrong information, but it's definitely an 80s hit that has been repurposed for a Star Wars trailer, and that psychs me out. I also like the fact that this show has been like marketed as Goonies in space because from the beginning they have wanted to sort of pay homage to like the Amblin movies of the 80s. So like a kid-centric, fun, adventurous side of the Star Wars universe being told, and it takes place in basically like the same era as The Mandalorian and Ahsoka. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in this. I'm excited. I liked that trailer. I was pumped up for it. What about you guys? How did you like it?
I liked it. I thought it was fun. I There were a couple corny moments, just like quick little one-liners where I was like, "Ah, come on," you know. But I'm hoping that that is just a one-off thing that they put in trailers because that's sort of your way to establish what the story is going to be about. Um, but it it'll be interesting because whenever there are shows or movies with like young actors like that, my brain immediately goes to Stranger Things, and that's not a fair bar to hold anyone to because it's a tremendous show. But at the same time, like I don't, I don't know. I think you have to get actors that are going to be able to portray that role for a long time if that's what you want them to do. But also,
Mm,
they have to be able to really convey the story how you want it to be told. So I think the acting was good in it, and we'll see what the tone is like. But I think more importantly than the kids being actors, it's going to be harder to take it seriously when the kids are that young. Like in the Goonies, the Goonies is not a serious movie at all.
right.
So it's easy to say like, oh, they're kids and it's fun and that's fine. And if that's what they're going for, then great. But I think it's hard to find that kind of medium.
I think that we've had this conversation before, like the difference between something that's made for kids and something that's made for families. And I get the feeling that this is a show that's going to be made for families that has kids in it, right? I feel like there's enough other stuff besides the kids to make it appealing to a very broad audience, and overall it's like an adventure where I think in some of the scenes that we've seen in some of the marketing you could see like sort of space pirates. There's like this weird looking peg-legged K2SO version of a droid that I'm really interested in seeing because I just love the way that he looks or it looks. Um, so I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I'm ready for another Star Wars adventure. It's going to be coming out on December 3rd. But Caleb, what were your thoughts on it?
I'm really trying, but I have my hater hat on today. No matter what I do, I can't take it off. It the minute that a trailer within the first 30 seconds has a parent coming in and saying this is unacceptable, to me it's a kids show.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
And before I share my entire opinion on it, will it be weekly releases?
Yes.
I will not be watching.
You're just done with weekly releases or what?
Done.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. Caleb is not watching the Skeleton Crew on a weekly basis.
No, I feel like if with how dramatic everything feels like it has to be to keep up in general, I feel like weekly releases force a writer or a production team to leave everything on a cliffhanger and not tell a story rather than just like leave you on your edge until you wrap up the entire story in the finale. I'm hoping beyond hope that this will be different because like it has like a lighter vibe to it so far. Um but when you don't really have expectations, you can't really fall short of those expectations.
It's true. I mean, I've spent 2 years talking about how I try to go into things with no expectations because if you go in with maladjusted expectations, then you're bound to, I mean, you're setting it up for failure, right? So, um, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You do like, I just sort of feel like I should say, I've failed you, Anakin. I've failed you because like all I did was grow up on episodic television week after week after week watching TV. And I know that that's a different we're in a different era now, so you guys, I mean, you also grew up watching weekly TV. It wasn't, streaming wasn't a thing until like Netflix made it big, and that's like the last 10 years. uh but I
But
mean,
I definitely feel like I don't think my opinion of course it has a factor to it, but I don't think my opinion of weekly releases is because I just want to binge the whole thing right off the bat. I think the fundamental change has been more about dollars and cents on the production team's side and like the distributor's side rather than trying to tell a engaging and like fun story. I feel like it's a lot more valued toward how much money is the show going to make me versus let's let the writers and everybody trying to bring this to fruition have full creative freedom and tell the story they want to tell.
yeah, and I think that's a, I hear what you're saying, and I think that it's this weird funky place that we're in like this, the studios, honestly, I feel like they're still trying to figure out this whole streaming thing because of the episodic nature of television and how long it lasted. I mean, this, weekly TV goes back to like the beginning, right? Of television, and it isn't until just recently, in a modern sense, that it changed the we have changed the way that we consume not just TV but also movies. So it makes you think like the studios are still trying to figure this out, and like I understand like Netflix has TV shows that are super popular in one season and then they cancel it. There's never a second season. And then people are super angry. I mean, we've seen that in not just Netflix properties, but all over streaming services. So you're sort of saying that you feel like you're on the hook to keep watching because they're manipulating you to keep watching from like a marketing standpoint rather than a story standpoint.
I can't I can't be manipulated, but one would say that that is a slight possibility and a chance.
They're attempting to manipulate you because of marketing rather than story.
Possibly.
You're just grumpy. That's what you are. You're just grumpy. If you had watched the Skeleton Crew trailer like yesterday, you would have been like, "Oh my god, this show looks like so much fun. I can't wait to
I
watch it
told
on a
you.
weekly basis."
I told you I have my hater hat on and I can't take it off. Not sure why.
Yeah, you did. You did. So it'll be interesting to see as it goes. So what's your plan then? I mean, Luke, are you gonna watch this on a weekly basis? Who am I gonna talk to about Star Wars here?
Yeah, I'll probably be watching it. I mean, I'm 2 episodes behind on the Penguins, so I got to catch up. But
Oh yeah, I
uh,
forgot that's still going.
Yeah, don't talk to me about the Penguin. I want to watch it, but I am also behind.
yeah, I plan on watching it when it comes out.
Penguin.
Penguin. So, Caleb, are you planning then to wait until the Skeleton Crew is completely released before you give it a chance, or are you gonna? Because on December 3rd, 2 episodes drop. They've been doing the whole 2 episode drop, right? So, are you gonna give those 2 episodes a try and see, or what are we looking at here?
You know, I haven't changed. I won't change. I talk a lot of cuss, but I will probably end up doing it anyway. I will definitely watch the first 2 episodes. I don't know that I'll be sitting on waiting on pins and needles to watch them on, like, their premiere, but I will definitely watch them, just to be a part of it, but I will definitely have strong opinions.
Well, listener, if Caleb is a part of those conversations or not, expect the Colby Cast to be covering the Skeleton Crew starting in December. We are looking forward to it.
Unless it is similar to the most recent Star Wars show that came out.
So, did you guys hear? This is what we're here to talk about tonight. This is my attempt of stopping Luke from talking about the Acolyte. Did you guys? Did you guys hear? And this is serious. This is an actual thing. That I didn't actually know that this existed, but back in like I don't know the 70s, I probably should have looked all this stuff up, but I didn't. Um, that Marvel and DC did like a whole bunch of crossover comic series where they were literally telling stories with Marvel characters and DC characters in the comics. And this happened, I don't know, a whole bunch of like their own independent little series. Uh I can't even tell you what characters are going against each other, whatever, but just imagine Marvel and DC.
I've seen some of those. I've never read the comics, but I've seen them.
Okay, so you know they exist. You heard this. Caleb, did you know that this happened? Because I didn't.
No, not at all.
So they are, for the first time since they were published, they're publishing an omnibus, which is a really cool word for saying a thick book of comic books of all of these different Marvel versus DC or DC versus Marvel crossover comic events. And it's available at your, at your Amazon. Let's just say honestly, it's available on Amazon, and it's like $100, like $105 or something like that. And it's
That's a lot
all
of
the
money.
it is a lot of money, but it's like this all these stories with DC and Marvel characters going up against each other, and I'm just sort of like nerding out over the fact that this exists, and it got me thinking it would be fun to do a sort of like similar kind of character draft because we haven't done that in a long time. So I put together a little multiverse character draft with a very flimsy little story behind it to get us to talk about cool characters from different things to build a team working towards one purpose. So there it is. That's what I want to do right now. You guys good? You guys ready to go?
So, in this situation, are you painting yourself to be the equivalent of like a dungeon master?
I I wouldn't say that I am a Dungeons and Dragons player, but I have played Dungeons and Dragons. I would not say that I'm a dungeon master because that's very, from what I understand, very complicated, and it takes a high level of creativity and talent that I don't think I possess. But for
Okay,
our
so
purposes, sure, I'll say that we're playing a little. I am like a substitute dungeon master.
in an attempt to not upset our D&Ders, can you call yourself a dungeon Padawan?
I sort of like that. I will let the D&Ders that listen to us chime in and let me know if I can call myself a dungeon Padawan. I would be honored to do so.
My vote is yes. So all of this to ploy you into being creative and using your imagination. How are we needing to be rescued, or where? Paint us a word picture. Where? What are the confines? Are we in some sort of layer? Are we stuck in mud? Is it
So
rainy?
would you like me to set the table?
Clear?
Would you like
Yes,
me to set the
please.
table? Yes, okay. Let me set the
Um,
table here for this draft. So here's the premise for our multiverse character draft. The Penguin has teamed up with Dr. Octopus. They have also brought along General Grievous, Megatron, and Ultron. There's a lot of metal in this team. And they have abducted us. We are being imprisoned on level 13 on Coruscant. You know, the deep, dark, seedy underworld, the criminal element, the maze that is the planet of Coruscant. We're imprisoned there by these villains, and we are now tasked to activate a team of heroes, or carry. It doesn't have to be heroes. It could be anybody you guys choose to come and rescue us. Now, in Colby Cast tradition, I will put the teams out there on the Instagrams and the interwebs. People can vote for who has the best team to free us and safely get us off the planet. Very important part of the draft, as you will all see, to get us off of Coruscant and back to our universe and freedom. So, the Penguin, Doc Ock, General Grievous, Megatron, Ultron have us kidnapped. We're going to draft. Now, here are the rules. Are we ready? You have to choose a Marvel character, a DC character, a Star Wars character, a character with transportation. So that can be from any franchise, any storytelling you want. But the character has to have like a mode of transportation associated with it. Does that make sense? Like Sam Witwicky would come with Bumblebee, if that makes sense.
Does Batman count, like with the Batmobile and the Batwing?
100%. But in that case, because he has so many different modes of transportation, you would have to specify what mode of transportation you are choosing if you are lucky enough to land Batman. So we're good on the character with transportation because we got one more, which is a wild card. You can choose a wild card from any from also from it doesn't have to have a transportation. It's just from any franchise. So Marvel, DC, Star Wars, character with transportation, and a wild card. Those are the characters that we're going to draft to try to rescue us from these evil people. Any questions?
I'm good.
Grumpy, any questions?
am I grumpy?
Yes.
Go drink your milk and ice.
It's coffee today. It's coffee. No milk and ice. All right. Well, we got to figure out who's going to go first. So, who's going first? Rock, paper, scissors it?
Oh, I have a quick question.
Okay.
Are we going to pick by category? Like we're all gonna pick one Marvel character and then we're all gonna pick one DC, or can we jump around?
I think we can jump around. Just be clear as to what category you're drafting from.
Sounds wonderful and also spectacular.
Okay.
Um,
Because I'm the
I
dad and I'm the magnanimous one, I will take a back seat to being first. You guys can fight it out to see who's going to go first, second. I'll go
No,
third.
this doesn't feel like the real Colby cast if you do that,
But you're
because this
taking
entire
away
time.
my opportunity to be such a selfless and wonderful father.
But you've already shown everybody who you are. You
That's so
always
true.
try and like rig it for you to win, and then Luke and I just finesse it and win anyway.
Okay, fine. Rock, paper, scissors then on 3. 1, 2,
Wait.
3. No. What? Okay, I already lost. Okay, no. I had scissors for those of you who can't see us, which is everyone, and they both put rocks. So go. 1, 2, 3, go. Looks like Caleb's first. Luke came with the paper and Caleb came with the scissor.
I always come with the
All
paper.
right. Caleb goes first. Luke is second. And I am third. Caleb, who do you have?
Just
There's a lot of
because
pressure for a first pick. There's a
No.
lot of pressure.
Not when you do absolutely no prep and you just shoot from the hip. It is amazing. I'm gonna go DC first, and I'm just gonna say Superman because he's the GOAT.
Which
You can't.
Superman?
What?
Do you even understand that question? Which Superman?
Like actor-wise?
Sure, I mean that's part of it. But there's like so many different Supermen in the comics too. That is a comic book nerd question from Luke. That's pretty good.
I'm going to say that for every comic character someone chooses.
But I mean, just for bonus points, what Superman would you choose? I
The
just would
one
love
with
to
an
hear
S
your
on his
question.
chest.
Not you, Caleb. He got him.
Technology is amazing. I would even say fantastic because I totally said the wrong name in someone who very much is an actor but never acted as Superman. But I had it on mute, so I saved myself the embarrassment. And in being able to filibuster and sometimes being able to multitask as I speak, I think, not always, this is a rare chance that it happened. I figured out the name. And as I'm saying it out loud, about to say it out loud, it makes me feel like I'm going to say it wrong again. I'm going to go with Henry Cavill.
That's your Superman. Who did you, I want to? That's great. I'm a fan of Henry Cavill as Superman. But what was your? Who did you say when you were on mute? I want to hear you embarrass yourself.
I may or may not have said Mark Hamill.
I mean, he did appear in the DC universe. He was the voice of the Joker in the Batman animated series. So, I mean, that's pretty good. And it also sounds like Cavill, Hamill, sort of, I guess. All right, Superman off the. I mean, he's formidable. He could probably just come in and save us all from any of these guys. But for our purposes, somebody has kryptonite, probably the Penguin. So we're just gonna say, like,
No,
we yes,
no,
somebody has it. I
no.
mean, the Penguin is a tactician, so he's probably
Do you
prepared.
know who has it? You know who has it? Batman. Batman is more of a villain than the Penguin. And you know,
And
and you
that's what
know
makes him
what?
interesting.
Yes, this is true. No argument that Batman is one of the greatest. And you know what Superman could do? He could just stand at a distance far enough away where he's not being affected by the kryptonite and just laserize this tubby boy.
Wrong. General Grievous has lightsabers. Those deflect it.
No.
He has 4 lightsabers. All right, Luke, who's your first pick?
There's so many DC characters to choose from, and it's so hard because I'm such a DC, especially like comic and animated show and movie nerd. So I get so overwhelmed. But I'm gonna go with my boy, Martian Manhunter.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
That's not a real person.
Explain who Martian Manhunter is to Caleb.
Martian Manhunter is a Martian from Mars, and he's
If you
green.
say he hunts men, I'm going to walk across the hall and mess up your bed.
No, he doesn't, and my door's locked. So kick rocks. Um, but he can change. He can shapeshift. He can fly. He has super strength. He can become like, what do you call it? Where you can like become not invisible, but you can like go through things. I don't know, like
Oh
train.
yeah, you can phase through solid objects and stuff.
Yes, his name is John Johns.
What were we just watching? We were watching the Justice League animated show on
It-
Max,
It's great. I
right?
love it.
And I had no idea that Martian Manhunter was named John Johns. And I
Yep.
have to say, that's really lame. That's a really lame name. What is up with that?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but he can fly and he's very powerful, and his only weakness is fire.
Of all things, how interesting. Oh, here he
Yeah, I
comes.
don't
Here
know.
he comes. Here he comes. Look, what do you have to say about fire?
What?
Oh, I don't know. You just looked like you had such purpose when Luke said that the one Martian Manhunter's weakness was fire. You had such purpose in your essence. I thought you were just going to come in with something to say.
Oh,
I
no.
clearly read that wrong.
My
And I'm so excited that I am now at my spot because even though we have like literally an infinite pool of characters to choose from, somehow you guys read my brain and I was afraid you were going to steal this character. And this is the one character I wanted in this draft. And that is June and Nyla from Avatar The Last Airbender. And I'm using this pick as my wild card, not my transportation. So you may be asking yourself, who in the world are June and Nyla? Do you guys know who this is?
Of course, it's the emo girl who liked Uncle Iroh and her blind, super strong smelling hound.
Yes, that that animal. All it needs to do is catch a whiff of me somehow. Mom will supply it with like a sock or something, and after it passes out and comes back to life after smelling my sock, it will know exactly where to find me. It will travel through hyperspace. It will get to level 13 of Coruscant, will track me down. Now, it may be bludgeoned or murdered by any of these things, but you need to be able to find people, and Nyla is the best finder of all things. So that's my choice. Wild card pick Nyla and June. June's a pretty good fighter, so I think I'm getting sort of like um, a bonus pick right here because I'm really interested in Nyla's tracking ability, but June can also kick some serious booty. So that's my wild card pick. Tell me how good it is. Tell me how awesome that pick is.
That was a very good pick, and I feel stupid because I forgot you said we were going to jump around. That's why I picked Martian Manhunter. Um, so now I feel like an idiot.
Would you have picked Nyla or June?
No, I wouldn't have, but that's good.
Okay, so it
That's
was
good.
safe. I probably could have just waited, but Caleb, would you have picked Nyla or June?
no, but I'm going to make my next pick because you've officially uh opened Luke's mind to other universes, and I really want this next character that is in the same universe as the one you just said. And I'm going to pick Aang because he is unstoppable and would be awesome to just destroy everything or have a funny quip here and there.
You do have to have comic relief on your team, don't you? Now, are you going to use this as your wild card pick, or are you going to bring Appa along and use it with your character with transportation?
God, all ooped me. I was very much struggling. I would love to be able. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna give you any credit. I'm not gonna bring Appa along because, as great as he is, I would assume that we need to get off the planet, and he would not be able to help us do that because I would not want him to pass away in space.
First of all, I think Appa could travel through hyperspace like Purgle. I would love to
Oh
see
my
that.
god, that would be sick.
So I love the choice of Aang, but I also support leaving Appa at home.
Appa's got kids to take care of now.
He does in the Legend of Korra.
Bro, spoilers for Legend of Korra. I haven't seen it.
Well,
Wah.
I mean, almost every character from Avatar: The Last Airbender is dead by the time that show starts. But
Bro, spoilers for no, I'm just kidding.
you say spoilers like it's that show hasn't been out for a decade and a half.
I'm not sure. It has been out for a decade and a half, but I could be
Probably
wrong.
like a decade.
Luke, who's your next pick?
My next pick, I'm going to go over to the transportation category, and I will pick the Mandalorian with his original ship, not the new one. I want the cargo ship.
The Razor Crest.
Razor Crest. Love that guy. What's
Good
what's
pick.
the name of his new ship?
I don't think there is a name. It's just the Naboo Starfighter or something like that.
It's cool. It's cool.
I
But
love that ship so much.
it's cool, but I need to be able to carry the crew along with me, you know?
Trust me, I have my eye on a good vehicle pick for the same reason. You do have to have some ability to haul people and equipment.
He
So that's
also
definitely
said that there's nothing on this planet that will open up those doors. That thing is legit.
except if you no, I don't. Should I spoil season 2 of, was it season 1 or season 2? Anyway, everybody knows
Move
that the
on.
Razor Crest got blown up. I mean, they opened the doors from space when they shot that ion cannon at it. Is it an ion cannon? I don't know. I'm sorry if I offended my Star Wars friends. Does that mean I'm up?
It does.
I feel like I'm sort of torn. You know what? I'm just going to go in reverse order. I'm going to go with the transportation too because I don't want to miss this opportunity. I'm picking Crosshair, and he comes with the Marauder.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Not only do you get a magnificent ship that will be able to safely outrun a lot of other ships that may be chasing us after we're saved, but you get Crosshair. And this is like the pre-shaking hand Crosshair where he hits his target because like I loved season 3 of the Bad Batch and the arc that he was on. It's beautiful. But for this mission, I need that steady shot. So Crosshair, the Marauder, and I hope that that Omega's little stuffed animal thing is somewhere in the Marauder because that that would be a great bonus to the bonus of having Crosshair. So that's my next pick.
It's a good one. Razor Crest.
I 100% do not intend to just be riding your coattails. I promise I have original thoughts. It just doesn't seem like it. Um, but I'm gonna bring my dog Tech because apparently we can move the goalposts and remove a shaking hand. Tech is not dead. Don't care. He's not dead, and he will be able to help me. Um,
But you can't
yeah,
have the Marauder because I already took that off the board. So
yeah,
you're
and that's
bringing
okay
Tech.
because my next pick is going to uh,
Gotcha.
cuss all over your Marauder.
Got you. Man,
Oh man, can I change my pick?
I don't know. Are you still grumpy?
I put it up to the vote of the council of the Colby cast.
I'll let you change it if you let me change my first pick.
Deal.
I
Pleasure
don't
doing
think
business with you.
I don't think I have any power in this situation. I can't override this.
No, you cannot. Go ahead, Luke. Go ahead and change yours while I tell you which mine is after. Because I already have it. Or do you need a second?
Oh well, no, you go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Echo because he'll be able to just use his fancy arms and all-knowing power because Star Wars. Um, and I won't even need to bring a droid along because he's able to do it. And we need some seriousness to my team because Aang is a goofball.
I support. Oh my gosh, I'd love to see any type of scene with Aang and Echo in it. Just that would be beautiful. Okay, I like it. Plus, he can put his hand in that thing like the magical. We need information ports that exist in Star Wars, and just turn, and you get what you need. Yeah, that's very
Yes.
handy. So I hear that we're changing your first pick. So you're taking John off of the board.
Yeah, he suffered a ligament injury in his knee, and yeah,
Is it from
non-contact
doing a
too.
headstand in the end zone?
Yeah, it was a non-contact injury, so those are scary. So wishes go out to him. But if I'm gonna get the Mandalorian with the Razor Crest, I think I'm just gonna go all in on that sort of thing because I've talked about how the Mandalorian is like Star Wars Batman. So I'm just gonna go with Batman. I
Nice.
I think I was overthinking it a little bit, so I'm just gonna sub out. So now I got Batman as my DC guy and his billions and billions of dollars, and his cool suits, and then the Mandalorian with his cool suits. I feel like they'd be good friends too. There's gonna be good team chemistry there. They're gonna have fun. They're not just gonna do their job. They're gonna have fun.
Yeah, just as
I'm
long as you don't diminish the value of your draftees, like a certain other Colby cast member whose name is on the building, you'll be good.
How have I devalued any of my draftees?
I forgot, but it happened.
Well,
That's a
I'm gonna
valid point.
I'm gonna preface this by saying you cannot change your category anymore now that you've changed your Batman from Martian Manhunter. What I'm going to say though is that I'm shocked that you just wouldn't have chosen Mando as your Star Wars character and chosen Batman as your character with a vehicle, because Batman has so many different options.
But the Razor Crest is better.
Wow, that is a hot take. The Razor Crest is better than any Batman vehicle.
It is. It might not be as iconic, but the Batmobile and the Batwing and the Bat bike can't go to space. They can't jump through hyperspace.
I mean, it's implied. Okay, I'm not going to split hairs because then you're going to try to be weird on me.
Whatever.
I do believe that you are, after you've changed your pick, you're welcome. You're still on the board for your third pick.
Don't say you're welcome. You had nothing to do with this. This was a handshake deal done by us.
Caleb likes to remind everybody that my name is on the building, so I could have vetoed it, but I just chose not to.
No, we
So
veto your veto.
I'm kind of building toward something here. I'm very happy about it. It's in the works. It's going to be great. And there are um, so many powerful characters in the MCU that I could pick. But I'm just gonna go. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm just gonna go with another cool, mysterious character with a cool suit, and I'm gonna go with the Black Panther. So now I have the richest Marvel character and the richest DC character, all flying in the Razor Crest, and I got vibranium, and I got oh my god, I feel like an idiot. How am I blanking on this? Wow.
Don't help
And
me.
we're
Don't
just going
help
to
me.
let you twist in
help
the
me.
wind. We're
Don't
just
help
going to
me.
let you twist in
Beskar,
the
thank
wind.
you. Beskar. I got vibranium and Beskar, and then I'm sure Batman's gonna get jealous and then find an even stronger substance. But that's who we're rocking with right now.
I just think it's really very, very, very funny that you included the fact that you have two of the richest characters in their universes, and they're both coming to the Star Wars galaxy where their money means nothing.
Wrong. They're converting it to credits.
Those
um,
I heard those currency exchanges can be absolute like robbery. So just let them know.
yeah, well, it
Yeah, well,
depends
they're
on
worth
where.
trillions.
Like, don't go to Batu to do that, because, ooh, man, you lose a lot of money when you go to Batu. Let me tell you from experience.
I don't.
Okay, so I'm gonna just continue my reverse order, and this is where I have to make a decision. I'm gonna go with a Star Wars character, and both of these characters that I have as potential picks are very familiar with level 13, which I think is important in our story here, because it's not just about finding your way around. I already have Nyla and June to do that. You need to sort of be able to navigate the element, if you get my drift, down there on level 13. You got to be able to talk to the people, and sometimes they just want to murder you right there on level 13. Um so with that said, this character is going to be formidable with the lightsaber as well. So we're getting sort of a good match for Grievous, and we're getting some level 13. I'm going with Ventress. That's my pick. If you cared, my
Hot
other
take.
what?
Hot take, bold pick.
I was also thinking about Ahsoka, because Ahsoka could beat Grievous, I think. I mean, she went toe to
Where I
toe with
thought you were
Grievous, right?
going. That's where
She
I
was
thought
the
you
other
were going.
pick. I think Ventress spent more time on level 13, so that's why I'm going with Ventress. Yeah, Ventress is my pick. Star Wars universe. Do you think Ventress could take out Grievous? Just the two of 1v1.
I think her ability to use the Force gives her an advantage, but Grievous also killed plenty of Force wielding Jedi.
It's true.
I don't know. It'd probably be a good fight, but I probably would have just gone with Maul if that was the case, because he knows the underground element too. But
I was thinking of Obi-Wan. I mean, Obi-Wan literally changed his face to go work undercover in the criminal element, which was
that
fantastic.
was a cool arc.
I also thought about Cad Bane, but I'm not. I shouldn't be giving you guys anything because we still have one Star Wars character on the
I wonder
board.
how
So
Ventress feels about this. You're talking about all the other people you could have picked instead of justifying her
Yup.
as a pick.
well, it came up in
Talking
the
bad about
preamble.
your
Like I told you
connections.
why. I told you why I was going to choose Ventress.
That's not what the press is going to talk about. That's not what the headlines are going to be. The headlines are going to be Colby from the Colby cast picks Ventress and talks about how great everyone else is.
I started talking about how she could beat General Grievous. I refuse to believe that. I just don't understand your logic.
Fake news. Caleb, your turn.
I'm gonna just make my own rule here, and it's not necessarily my own rule because the internet backs me. I'm gonna go with Optimus Prime as my character, who is also a vehicle, because he's not gonna stay as a truck. He's going to be anything we need, and be able to cargo load everybody and everything we need out of that place.
We've never seen Transformers 1. I still think that has potentially it could be a good movie. Yeah, and we have Megatron as part of the crew that stole us. So Optimus Prime is definitely a good pick. Who wins in
Lifelong
that fight?
foes. Yeah, lifelong foes. They've had their trilogy fight. Why not? They know each other's fighting styles. I think he's going to not only inspire the team, he's going to lead them and be able to fight his own fight too.
That's what I'm worried about, though. I think he's going to make it a little personal. He's
You
not there
see,
for him. He's there for you, and he needs to
when
remember
you've
that.
seen the heights he's seen, ain't nothing about him no more.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. So I want to pick this character, and feel free to throw a flag here, but I would like to go for my Star Wars character. This is the one I've been building towards, so I'm so happy. The Rancor.
I think you. I want to hear why.
I don't think
He
he's
just
gonna
seems like
fit
a
on your
good
vehicle.
guy.
No,
How
there
is
has
he
to be a
gonna
better
fit
reason
in
then.
the vehicle?
No. I don't want him to be a vehicle. I want him for him.
No. How are you going to transport him from his planet
We're
to this
just gonna
planet?
hang out, man.
Maybe he can fly through space like Purgle 2, and he can just like grab onto the top of the
But that's not on his
Razor
team.
Crest.
That's not on his team.
No, the Razor Crest.
No.
He picked Mando in the Razor Crest.
Why are you guys making me feel so bad about picking? Okay.
Let me tell you this.
Fine,
Let
you
me tell
caught me. I was joking.
No, you know what I mean? He's gonna choose. He's gonna change his pick again.
No, this was a bit. God, you guys are the worst.
You need to work harder on your bits.
It's because I've been trying. I really like genuinely. I've been trying to find the Star Wars monster because I can't remember his name, and I hate it that I can't remember it. But he's the massive thing
The
that they
Zillow Beast.
found. The Zillow Beast. There you go. That's the
You
guy
want
I
to take
want.
the Zillow Beast?
Yes.
That's sort
You
of a
can't
sick pick.
chirp-
It's sort of
You
sick.
can't chirp Dad for going and talking down about his draftees, and then go up to the podium and say the wrong name.
It wasn't the
already
wrong
s-
name.
You
It was
already
the equivalent
submitted
of
it
going
to
to the
league.
podium and picking Mickey Mouse. You know,
You already submitted Rancor to the league, dude. They
Nope, nope, nope.
processed the paperwork.
They did not process the paperwork. You know why? Because I talked to the commissioner before it happened. We're good. Zillow Beast is on his way. And the Zillow Beast, he doesn't care, man. He doesn't have an
I
ego. He's just there for the love of the game.
I really think the Zillow Beast is a very unorthodox but smart pick because of the same reason I was going to say that the Rancor actually made sense. That thing is going to cause massive distractions. And remember, the Penguin, no matter what universe he's in, has a lot of minions and is able to send his goons out. So he sort of comes with an army. We need
Despicable Me?
sure.
Like minions?
I mean, Gru is on the board. You could pick Gru
Move on.
if you wanted.
I
Huh?
couldn't. I can't. My wild card is already filled.
I just think that the Zillow Beast would really be good at distracting those goons, the Penguin's goons,
And that's
and
what I'm
allowing.
building toward.
Yeah, I like it.
That's what I'm building
I
toward.
see
Because,
it.
I'm going to have Mando. I'm going to have the Black Panther. I'm going to have Batman. Those are just three dudes, you know? Ultimately, they're not going to be able to transform the way a transformer can. They don't have lightsabers, but I don't need any of that because I have the Zillow Beast.
It's hard to argue with it. It's hard to argue with it. So before I make my pick, let me just reset the table here. I have a Marvel and a DC pick left. Uh,
How do you have
Luke,
two picks?
because I
Oh,
haven't made my fourth pick yet.
you're right. Because you're at the end. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm the last pick. Oh, we didn't do the snake draft, by the way, this time, and I'm lodging a complaint. Um,
Well,
Luke,
your rookie season, you pissed off the person who gets the final say, who I'm also getting texts from about Luke's tobacco. Um, so yeah.
Luke has a wild card pick left, and Caleb, you have your Marvel pick. So with my DC pick, I feel now is the right time to reveal the DC pick. I am going to pick not only a Green Lantern, but specifically John Stewart as the Green Lantern. Because first of all, John Stewart is very funny.
He's
He
also the
has a talk
best
show.
Green Lantern.
I don't
He's
know who
also
that is.
John Stewart is a Marine, so he knows how to use the weapons, and he has a magic ring that can become anything he wants it to be. It's only bound by his imagination. So John Stewart, Green Lantern. I mean, this guy by himself could take out, I think, everybody on the bad guys team. Yeah, John Stewart versus Megatron, John Stewart. Green Lantern versus Ultron, Green Lantern. Doc Ock, Penguin. Yeah, I'm saying, man, I got a good team. That's all I can tell you.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point that he might be able to take out your whole team. But also, how's that going to affect everybody? You know, you can't just have your starting five going. You got to have a good bench. They have to feel wanted. They have to feel like they're helping. And ultimately, if he falls short, but he's trying to do everything on his own, be a one man show, then
No, it's
morale's
John
going to be
Stewart. You
low.
got maybe if it was Hal Jordan, maybe if it was Ryan
Hal
Reynolds, Hal
Jordan can kick
Jordan, we would have
rocks.
this issue. No, but John Stewart, he's a leader. He knows how to lead a team, so he's solid.
It's
All
valid.
right, last pick, Caleb.
So I have a question, and it would really benefit me if I was the last pick. But I'm gonna ask it anyway, and then I'll be able to make my decision with a clean conscience.
Okay.
Um, with Deadpool and Wolverine opening things, and I don't know where the logistical stuff and the legal stuff sits. Um, are all X-Men and X-Men characters a part of the MCU now?
I mean, I think that hasn't been quite answered yet, so we're just going to answer it for the world and say yes. Why not?
Okay, cool. Um, I'm gonna go
I
with
mean, if you
Spider-Man.
have, if I like it, why not? Why did you ask about the X Men if you're going for Spider Man?
Because I was gonna go with Rogue because Rogue is the best character ever. But there are no like super powered people keeping me captive in this scenario. So Rogue would just go up to like Doc Ock and grab his arm and be able to absorb no power. And I wouldn't want her getting anywhere near General Grievous because he smells bad. So I'm gonna just let her sit this one out and maybe grab lunch with her another day to hang out, keep morale up. But I'm gonna go with Spider-Man because if they have an animal on their end, I want an animal on my end.
What?
Name, penguin,
Doc Ock.
spider.
Oh well, but also Spider-Man versus Doc Ock is classic, and I'm sure
Yeah.
Spider-Man could
Oh,
take
that
care of
was
Doc Ock.
totally the logic behind that pick too. I
Yeah,
Yeah,
get
but
it.
yeah,
now
not
you
the
got
Penguin.
two guys there fighting for themselves and not for you. That I don't know, man. That's
Dude, when you're drafting a championship team, sometimes you gotta pick players who are gonna take on other players. That's like if you're gonna draft Crosby to take on McDavid. Like it's gonna be you gotta go toe for toe sometimes.
a valid point. Um, with my last pick, I have my wild card spot open, correct?
Yeah, you do have your wild card spot.
So there's a couple different ways I can go from here, and I don't expect you guys to let me keep this pick. Um, but can't yeah. If you don't ask, then the answer's already no, right? Um, I would like to pick Morgan Freeman as God in Bruce Almighty.
I feel like this is my fault. I take full responsibility for this. I did say any fictional character. I did not specify like nerd culture or sci-fi or comic. I did say anybody. And I feel so safe right now because at least one of us has God on our team. And my gosh,
Well,
I know that we're going to be rescued, so.
he's saving me. You didn't pick him. I did. And I would like to specify that it is specifically Morgan Freeman in Bruce Almighty as God.
That's such a good movie.
Great
Also,
movie.
and I can't, mention it without talking about the scene with Steve Carell. That's the first movie I ever saw Steve Carell in when he's the newscaster, like the
So
guy.
good.
And then Jim Carrey's off to the side and he's just making him speak jibber jabber. I was in pain. I laughed so hard during that. So that's a
So good.
great, great pick. I do feel like that he would be like, like he made Bruce like godlike because he wanted to teach him a lesson. So I feel like he could just make all of our villains like learn a lesson and be like, no, you know what? I'm just gonna let Luke go. So I
And
mean,
if
you're
they
saved
don't,
either way.
I got the Zillow Beast.
But I like it. I like it. All right. Is that me? I'm up. Man, it just feels like such a letdown with my pick right now after that pick and Morgan Freeman as God.
Again,
See,
you're
yeah,
sewering your picks.
you need to re-up your PR training, man.
But he literally has no powers. My next pick, he has zero powers.
If you're selling a car, you don't start talking about what it doesn't have.
Okay.
They're just
Well,
gonna leave you there. They're not even gonna come save you.
Yeah.
let me tell you.
They're going to sign their guaranteed money contract and leave you there.
Let me tell you what he does have then, because my pick is from the Marvel universe, and I feel like I need somebody on the team that can just somebody that knows how to get things. He's in a foreign place. He doesn't have the connections, but he knows how to make the connections, and he's going to be able to acquire things that we may need as we go, and also another excellent team builder, and it's Nick Fury. Nick Fury is the guy. I feel like he'll be the glue that holds us all together. That's my
I
guy.
like that pick. I like that pick.
Oh, tell
I
me why.
wouldn't.
Tell me why you like it.
I am not going to save your locker room for you. You do that. Okay. Okay. But he every team needs a team captain, and I think my team has a lot of alphas on it. I think Black Panther and Mando and Batman, they might butt heads, but everybody knows that Morgan Freeman as God is the captain. So and they're
Sure.
not going to fight that. But Nick Fury's going to be your guy. He's when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and there ain't no tougher than Nick Fury.
I like that. We do need to name captains. So you named God your captain. I'm very comfortable making Nick Fury my captain. Caleb, who's your captain on your team?
You see, when you got so many MVPs like the 2024 World Series Championship Dodgers, you could name anybody the captain. Like Aang, literally the most powerful being in his universe.
Aang is not a
Spider-Man.
captain. Aang is not a captain.
Aang literally at the end of the series helps rule the world.
He's 12.
Zuko and or Katara are captains before Aang is captain.
I would put Aang as my captain before I put God. There, I said it.
You're just saying that to spite me. I
You're
would
just
I would
saying that
back.
despite God.
I don't know.
I would literally
I would leave it up to the
put
locker room.
everybody.
What?
That's such a cop out. And you guys are saying that I don't know how to build a team? Come on.
Who did you pick?
He'd have. Well, who did I pick or who did Caleb pick?
Wait, no, I didn't hear what he said.
He said he'd leave it up to the locker room. He's going to put it to a vote.
Yeah, let the inmates run the asylum. Go ahead.
You're just because we don't have God on our team doesn't mean that they're all sinners. Jeez. Superman and Optimus on the same team. I feel like if you guys are making me pick, I would pick Optimus because he has the most experience. He could do the rah-rah in the locker room, get everybody hyped up. But Superman and Optimus, sometimes it's hard to get up for the games in the middle of the season and go. And I think Spider-Man and Aang being that little brother to them would make them play. So
There
And
you are,
Optimus
dancing
has a
around the
cooler
question,
voice.
not answering again. So who's your
I
captain?
literally just said Optimus.
You have a lot of red and blue on your team. Did you notice
America.
that? So Luke, you have a lot of black and silver and like metallic things on your team.
I do, because what's the point of doing something if you can't look good while you do it?
Yeah, that's true. You're like the Los Angeles Kings of fictional character drafts.
Oh, what? Can't get out of the first round?
Hey, but you're gritty.
Are they? Yeah, I think we have reached the point of delirium. I like our teams. I'm going to put this out there for people to vote on. Want to hear what you guys think. Whose team would successfully rescue us after being abducted by these terrible villains and being held captive on level 13 of Coruscant? Let us know. And thank you all for listening. Do you guys have anything else you want to add before I close out this disaster?
Yeah, I have Morgan Freeman as God on my team, so if you don't vote for me, I don't know what else to say.
Thank you. I didn't realize that. I had totally forgotten. Caleb?
I'm not grumpy.
But you're sleepy. All right, well, this is Colby signing off of this episode for Caleb and Luke with a joke. I gave my handyman a to-do list, but he only did jobs 1, 3, and 5. Turns out, he only does odd jobs. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know. You can find the Colbycast on Instagram, Threads, and X at the Colbycast. Episodes can also be found on YouTube, so like and subscribe. If you feel so inclined, rate and review our show on your podcatcher of choice. That really helps the show beat the algorithm and helps us find new friends to add to the conversation. If you're wordy, like me, you can send an email to thecolbycast@gmail.com. All music is licensed through Adobe Stock and performed by ProMusic24. This podcast is not endorsed by anyone or anything for that matter. It's intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of the Colbycast unless otherwise indicated.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.